rather than just simply testing your legs and your bottom, is that you're here to practice in the right way, with the right view. The right view is something that goes immediately to that everything is created by the mind, including the notion of yourself. This is probably the hardest part for us to accept. Sometimes it may be like a bitter pill to let go of the ego. I often say that we need to jump into the void. This is from the ancient masters and from the sutras. To jump into the void would require great faith, because we don't know what's on the other side. Don't know that what we're going to do. It's like someone who is a drug addict and they are taking the drugs every day, even though it's destroying their life, but yet they can't seem to want to break that habit. They enjoy this place, they enjoy the feeling of the drug, but yet the drug causes them so much suffering and misery. They choose to indulge in such suffering just for some fleeting moments of pleasure. And we are addicted to this drug of the ego. This in what the Queen Shamala Lions or Sutra said is the immediate entrenchment of this ignorance, the ignorance that is an ego, and an ego that has to be tended. And as you grow, you don't of that. We suffer greatly. Not only do we suffer greatly, but we cause suffering of other people, people who may love us or worry about us, or that we steal from in order to satisfy our drug habit. When we break through this is liberation. There's a story of this one monk that went to sit on a rock right by a lake on the moonlit night. And he set his robe and his sandals to the side. And when a thief came up and was walking away with his robes and sandals, the master said, "It's a pity I could not give him this monk." It is in this way that when one is awakened to the absolute, the true reality of life, that one seeks to offer this meaning to others. Because this liberates the others from these harmful habitual patterns that create the images that appear in the world. And yet this world is just simply part of mind. It's a manifestation from mind. We do not understand that. We knock on a table. We feel that it's true. We think this table is real. We knock on our heads and say, this head is real. This pain or sensation is real. This enjoyment is real. This fear is real. We think that the source of it all is our ego. This is the problem when we sit and meditate. When we sit and meditate, we think that we're sitting on Krishna. We think that I will get something out of crossing my legs. We never really see that we are just dreaming, and we never really recognize that we are not the dream. No matter how you look at this, you'll see you're not the dream. But we think that we have manifested this dream. It is because we cannot step back from this world to see it, and to see that it is just mine. I often talk about that there's slumbering Buddhas that need to be awakened. It is not, when they talk about the infinite number of Buddhas in through the worlds, there is not a countable amount of Buddhas. It's infinite. And the term Buddha does not signify some form of soul or a likened being or some super powered entity. It is in the power, is in the fact that just this mind is Buddha. This mind is not separate from the Buddha mind at all. There is no individual Buddha that is going to become enlightened. We have this mind from the very, very beginning. That is the Buddha mind. I shouldn't even say it in this way because it's not correct. When I say we have this mind, it's actually not a we. Even when we talk about it in this way, we're partners in crime in creating a duality. People may say, Gilbert, he talks too deep, too profound. It is something that I don't understand. But you will never understand it. This mind has to be awakened in this part. This part is kind of inconceivable to think about, that you are walking around in a dream world. And there's no you. You, in this dream, if you awaken in this dream, you're still a dream. The body is still a dream. This is not awakening. This is simply awakening of a sentient being in a dream to the truth. But it is not an actual awakening. So long as you hold on to the idea that I am now awakened, I am now practicing. I've often said that a bodhisattva coming into this world straddles this world and the absolute straddles the apparent reality for this world and the absolute mind. Bodhisattvas come to this world for a purpose, to begin to remove this dream, as if there was a scab on the Buddha body, and it's coming in to work on from the inside of the scab to dry it up. From the outside of the scab, there's an interest in removing it as well. But it is not separate from the body. We cannot understand this. We can only contemplate this. When we sit to meditate, we meditate calmly and serenely from the very beginning, knowing that this body, this mind that we're using, is not separate from the Buddha, that this body is phenomenal, but that which sits has never been born or created. This is very, very important. This very mind that you're using right now is the Buddha mind. It is what, when you sit, stays. Shuku used to say, give the body to the cushion and the mind to the method. He didn't say you are doing this, it said mine, because it's mine. We confuse mind as we confuse the term emptiness and give it a different meaning. We confuse mind and think it is consciousness. And so if we're sitting and we're following our method, I am following. I am following. In doing this, you cannot develop proper concentration. You still have a duality. No matter how much you practice and do that, all that kind of concentration will do is ultimately bring you to the point that there is no one that's sitting, no life in me. But wouldn't it be better for you to start from that right view and practice than take years or eons or kalpa to come to that same realization? There's a story that I read in Sutra where a bodhisattva came to a realization after 5 kalpas of practice. And the bodhisattva said, if I knew what I know now, I would not have wasted 5 kalpas of time to study. And what he was referring to, or he or she said, was that just this mind is the Buddha. Master Lin Chi says, people these days, they cut off their head and then proceed to look for their head. It doesn't make sense. He was referring to the practices at that point where people would pick up concentration and they begin to try to concentrate on something and completely lose the very fact, the very essence that just this mind is the Buddha. This is just, it's very important for you to understand this. That when we start from this viewpoint, this enables the mind to sit quietly and serene, not picking and choosing, just simply this way. You walk around this world like a pauper. you never recognize that you're of royal lineage. Each and every one of you are part of the Buddha clan, but you walk around as a sentient being, thinking that you will die. And then when the body dies, what do? You reboot, you come back like some kind of a video game. Depending on what you collected in points in the last few lifetimes that you did, will determine what character you play in the next video game. You don't understand that your mind is the creator of the video game. It is why then the Buddha sends a body into this world to try to readjust it from the inside of samsara. This is the Nirmanakaya. But we understand that this Nirmanakaya, this appearance body, cannot be known to be the Buddha. That's dualistic. This is why in the Dhamma Sutra it says the Buddha is not known by it's 32 marks, even though some sutras say the Buddha can be known by the 32 marks. But it cannot be known that way because the Buddha comes into this lifetime with a reasonable facsimile of a human sentient being. If it came to this world as a talking, burning bush, people would go, I don't know, I've never seen a burning bush, why would I pay attention to it? Get some water. But it comes back in a manner in which to communicate with human sentient beings. It's natural. But if you went and for some reason were able to pierce the sky with your wisdom sword and go through that hole, you go spend an infinite time looking for a Buddha that looked like the historical Buddha. Not only is the Buddha body an appearance, but you are also an appearance. Because you also all possess Buddha mind. So you're here like dressed up in some theater costume playing this role. But the very one that's playing the role is part of the Buddha. It is in this way. This is inconceivable to us. Even as I say this, you yourself are going, oh, no, you know about this. You will never know. I'm coming around to you with this bitter pill. And then say, I'm going to give you this pill. Open your mouth. No. I don't know that. What's this pill going to do? It's going to make you go away. I don't want to go away. I like it here. And so you choose ignorance. If you wholeheartedly accept this pill, what is this pill for? It's an antibiotic pill. It's a cure. So when you cure the illnesses, they always put an antibiotic in there to kill the virus. And so even though it appears to be an appearance body, it appears to be contrary to the purposes of this world. very strange. This is very unusual. But it's the Buddha that, with the Buddha's that, because the purpose of the Buddha is to destroy the ignorance, to create this world as it is. But I love the flowers, I love the snow, I love the sun. I love COVID, I love death, I love suffering. Actually, suffering as pleasure, as little momentary pleasures that I get when you see the sunset is worth all of them. Get the bill, no, don't get the bill. In many Cha halls, including in Jincha, in Taiwan, there is a sign in the Buddha Hall or in front of the Buddha Hall that says, the place where the Buddha is chosen. So you choose the Buddha when you're on the cushion and you're studying to meditate. You now know, you now receive the wisdom that just this mind is the Buddha. Choose the Buddha moment to moment. In this moment, you said, I choose the Buddha. Calmness and serenity are with you. And then the next moment, you think of something else, and you now chosen the ignorance of some image that's popping up in your mind, or some sensation that's popping up in your mind. You lost it because you chose wrong. Choose the Buddha, moment, moment, moment. Don't fall asleep. So, as you choose the Buddha, when you sleep, remain calm. Remain serene. This is your natural state. Shifu used to say, you know, I don't like to talk. And then people said, but Shifu, you talk all the time. You're always talking. He said, yes, because you're always asking me questions. But he didn't want to talk. He chose the Buddha all the time serenely, yet follow the function of his body to transmit the Dharma to others. If you follow what Kapalunchi, Master Shen Yin was presenting, he presented a clear option to you. And if you did accept that option, you would be no different than him. And who is he? He's no different than the Buddha. You each have this ability, but it's as if you spin this roulette wheel, and it comes up, human being. But then later you spin it, you spin Gilbert's roulette wheel, and it comes up, Buddha. Next time you spin it, Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. And you're waiting for that one little spot that says sentient being. You don't accept that. You spin the wheel, comes up, Buddha. What do I get? Nothing. Well, I was expecting something. Even suffering is better than nothing. So you spin, you spin, and you spin. There are some there that it lands on Buddha, and they go, okay, well, what do I get? Well, you get nothing. You are absorbed into mind. But recognizing your kinship, you realize that you've never been born. You're never destroyed. Where am I going to live? Wherever you want to live, but it's not your house. You live everywhere. Well, that sounds pretty good. Am I wealthy? Beyond any conceivable idea of wealth. You are wealthy. It's starting to sound a little bit better. Do I get sick? No, you cure people from sickness. Am I dreaming? Right now you're dreaming, but if you enter the void, you'll realize who the dreamer is and what the dream is. That makes more sense, right? It seems like something that you wouldn't sleep through, right, Harry? So you look at things and you see them clearly. This is for you. Or you can go and start practicing trying to be a perfect person. And what do I get? You get 5 counts of practice. And then you realize you didn't need 5 counts of practice. Right now you could have chosen the Buddha. This is right here. What I'm saying is using the words of this world and the metaphors of this world to try to bring you to this moment on the cushion to choose the Buddha. To understand that when you sit, there's no thought. There's only the single thought of staying with the method. That's not hard. The only easier thing to do is initially is to fall asleep. You fall asleep until one day you awaken in the belly of a donkey or a cow. Not a very good option. There's no guarantee of coming back as a human, sentient being. But you have this chance to sit on this cushion as a Buddha. Please don't go around telling people Gilbert thinks he's a Buddha. If Gilbert thinks he's a Buddha, then he's wrong. But it is this mind that we use that's not separate from the Buddha. Gilbert could never be a Buddha, he's a tree. But the Buddha permeates everything. It is what everything is projected on. When we sit, this is what we're doing. We are not trying to become what we already are. This is important. This is right for you. We start from this. You have this already. It's not something that you win on the roulette wheel. So you have to practice sincerely and understand what you're doing. You can your Buddha, that's how it's is imagine. And you party far from confusion and imagining. they can reach ultimate nirvana. But you can use these medicines until you feel just, hey, the Buddha mind. What does the Buddha mind feel like? It realizes that the sensations, the 18 realms, form sensation, perception, belief, forms, taste, touch, all of it. And those realms of them, they're empty. It is intimate with everything. It doesn't use the eye organ to see or the ear organ to hear. It's here, natural. It is always present. It rests in the present moment. Resting and aware. This is how you practice. You rest and you're aware. You don't have to bring up concentration. You don't have to do it in that way. It's like the man that was staring at the orange juice carton at breakfast. And the wife came by and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "The box said, concentrate." Concentrate. It isn't in this way. Concentration is natural. Calmness and serenity is natural. We don't have to cultivate it to bring it up. We only have to use right view. Why do you want to fabricate something that so many years ago we moved away from? For the last maybe 1,600 years or more, we moved away from trying to cultivate a dualistic concept. We concentrate by resting the mind in the present moment, maintaining awareness. This is the being of the Buddha, the suchness of the Buddha. We know that from the very beginning. We can do it because we possess Buddha mind. I shouldn't say we possess Buddha mind. Buddha mind possesses us. And so there's a self-absorption. So when the ego is absorbed by the Buddha mind, it is naturally in a state of equanimity. Naturally, in a liberated state, it's ours to lose. And as soon as you have a thought of work, or a thought of something you have to do, or a thought of pleasure, it's gone. You fell asleep. But then you reboot, you come back, because you've never lost the Buddha mind. You just forgot how it works. If you cling to thought, you will fall into an obscuration of the mind. But now that you know that you have the Buddha mind, use it in the right way. Sit calmly, serenely aware. This is the Buddha mind. Your awareness expands to infinity. You already know. All the weight of the world is lifted off of you. See, the Chang poem. Have you heard of the man of the Tao? He has nothing to do. Just nothing to do. Why do you want to conjure up something of where you're going and what you're going to get out of it? There's no need to do that. It's just simply said. All of it. Don't put your mind on your sitting in the belt and you're hungry. Just make you learn. Body. That on the thing. It didn't. No sense of ego, no sense of identity, no sense of belonging. Simply resting in this never ending Buddha principle. Nothing. Continuous, blissful, calm, serene state. You don't have that. The intrinsic nature of all. Just that. The mind itself is like a clear pond on a windless day. Return to the clear. Release any thoughts to return. There for clear. stairs.
Do your palm, please.
Nothing full moon there.
For your palm.